Good evening, Christine. Hi, Gail. I'm about a minute early, but I'm really not feeling well today. It's not that I'm sick. I'm not feeling well mentally today. Hi, Louise. Hi, Sue. Hey, Mary Lou. A few changes are having to be made, and it's got me blue. Hey, Marianne. All right. I'm pretty sure we have sound. If we didn't, you guys would be yelling at me by now, I think. Hi, Swirly. You're drained of energy, Gail? Me too. I have spent way too much energy on things I shouldn't have all week. So I feel you. Hi, Irma. Well, enough of that. We're going to play the intro and get started making orchids. Okay. Hi, Louise. Have two Louises. Louise McLean. And hey, Janet. Oh, no, I'm so sorry, Mary Lou. I lost my mom on the 23rd, so that's an added thing. So, this is the calendar. We are on our Thursday night. We're going to be doing orchids. Tomorrow we are featuring Louise's gnome shaker candy card, her shaker card. Louise, if you would like to post that link in there for them to follow so that they might be able to cut theirs prior to tomorrow's live at 11 a.m. If you guys want to follow along, I'm going to put together Louise's file tomorrow. On the 7th, we will be doing, and tomorrow's my brother's birthday too. I just remembered that. And on the 7th, we're going to be doing the peony. I have to go and get some floral wire because I made a boo-boo and I ordered the wrong wire. I actually had 3 in my cart and I took out the wrong ones. And so my wire is too light for felt flowers, but I'm going to go with it to show you guys how it goes together, and I'll let you know why you don't use a lighter wire for felt flowers and you need a heavier gauge, and what can happen. So I'll be showing you. I'll show you here in just a minute, Louise. You could probably tell from what I've cut because I just finished cutting mine. The gnome one. It's the gnome with the little shaker dome in his belly. That's the one. So that's what we're doing tomorrow. And the 7th, we're doing the peony. And the 9th, I haven't decided yet. I think we're going to do maybe, I don't know, a daisy type flower. Not sure yet. All right, so that is the calendar and what we've got going next week. Don't forget to shop that those Cricut links down below. That is the only way I earn a commission, is if you guys use the links that I provide to you, and I greatly appreciate your support. from affiliate link shopping, and for those of you who are able, the Patreon and Ko-fi and YouTube support. Thank you so very, very much. Yes, there are different gauge wires, Gail, and I will cover that here in just a minute. The current giveaway, don't forget to enter this giveaway, guys. Make sure that you're jumping in there and you are grabbing that opportunity to win those shopping sprees. All the details are on the site for the giveaways, and also in the featured pin post in the groups. Don't forget also to enter into the Community Create Challenge. It ends on February the 7th, which will be the day that we're making our peony. So make sure that you're getting into that. Time is drawing near on it. All right, and here we are. And I accidentally ordered 22 gauge wire. And 22 gauge wire is very, very thin and very, very flexible. You can you can cut this with scissors. You don't even need wire cutters for this. Okay. This type is for very delicate flowers, like maybe baby's breath, if you're making a little baby's breath and stuff like that, or maybe really light leaves for crepe paper flowers. This is what 24 gauge is. And the wires start, and don't quote me on this because I'm trying to think back. I don't think there's a 5 gauge. I think it's a 8 gauge is the largest. And the higher your number goes, the finer it gets. Okay? And I think it goes up to 30, 32 maybe. 32 sounds familiar. Don't quote me on that. You can look it up. It's very rare that you go, unless you go to a floral store, that you're going to find all those gauges. Okay, first of all. You can probably find them online or at a floral store. The most common is between 20 and 26. Those are your most common gauges. Okay, and what I have tonight is 24. I was running out of wire and my delivery hadn't got here yet. I made this one last night, and I did this 2 different ways, a little bit different. But mine are spinning because I had to cut my wire short instead of using a whole wire in order to put this together. So you want to use a full wire when you're doing these, and I will show you that. And you want to be very careful if you're using the fluffy, because mine got stuck in my glue and I couldn't get it apart. And I just didn't cut another one. It got stuck after I put the flower together, and I didn't want to pull it apart and chance damaging it more. So make sure that you maybe cut an extra to glue on top of it, but you do need a heavy gauge wire. It's just too floppy by the time, even this one, this is I want to say that this one is a 22 gauge. And I really needed a 20 gauge for this, okay? Because it's the way that you do orchids, you know, that they flop over in a curve like this. And by the time that you put it in the vase, it's starting to bend down here at the end and flop. It's not standing up like I want it to. I want it to be up here and it's down there. And your gauge wire is going to make all the difference in the world on how it stands up in your vase. Now, if you have a really tall vase, you can probably get by with a 20 gauge. I mean, a 22 gauge. But a 20 gauge for this flower is going to be best. But see how short my vase is? I needed heavier wire. And I can still use this. I just need a taller vase to help support the stem up to this point and keep it held up, because it's just too light down here. If I fold it over and strengthen it up, then it's going to be too short for my vase. So 12, you could use 12, Mary Lou. It's going to be a little hard to bend, but yes, you can use it. That's why I say you can still bend 20 with your hands pretty easily, but you really need some wire cutters and all of that for the 20s, and for even the 22 I use it. So, check your wires. If you know that you're going to be doing just one stem on there, this is pretty light. This is very heavy for a flower. So, I mean, if it was crepe paper, this wire would be fine. And you'll be able to tell as you're putting it together, you will be able to tell. You'll know once you because I have 3 flowers and 3 buds on that. That's 6 flowers on one stem. And that's the more you have on a stem, the heavier gauge wire you need. Okay. I'm just going to put that out there. So I'm just going to pull let's see, I have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take 6 wires to do this. Now you're going to be able to save some wire because you're going to be trimming it off later. But it's easier to work and then save your scraps if you use a full stem. I am not going to be wrapping this because it's too light for the flower to start with. And I want to be able to take it back apart and reuse my pieces. So I'm only going to do one of these actually tonight. I cut 2. And if you look in the file, I contoured and detached all of those pieces. Guys, all of these pieces are the same size. The way that they cut in the file, you couldn't move them around. Let me just pop over and show you that. All of these were connected, okay? When you ungroup it, all of these were connected to each other, and you can see how one of them's turned this way, one's turned this way, and they were all in a grouping. And you couldn't do anything with it when you got it over on the Make It screen, and it was wasting a lot of material. So I contoured and took them out so that they were individual pieces, and I cut one from paper and checked it. And yes, you can do this flower from paper. Super easy to do this flower from paper. You don't need and as a matter of fact, I didn't need all these holes because you can thread them if you want to, but this one, the back piece, is the only one that really needs a hole in it. These other pieces don't need that little tick mark that they've got cutting. I did cut this with my rotary blade on the Joann's felt, and it cut those holes just fine. I didn't have any problem with that. And it cut perfectly with the Cricut felt and the fine point blade as well. So you can do this the way that you want, but all of these 3 pieces, even though they look different, they're exactly the same, with the exception of the way that the slit is going on them, and I don't even think that that's different. I think they're the same as well. I cut one and checked it, so you don't have to worry about. I think the way that they did it was so that you could keep these 2 pieces together and these 2 pieces together and then these 2 pieces together, but they're all the same, so it didn't make any sense to me. So I changed up my file. So if you want to grab the file again and save it again, then you can. And I did go in and make them individual for you guys in my profile, so that this is the only flower. This one here has all of them in it, and these 3 are all individual. And then this one will be an individual. That's our peony. There's the one, Louise. But I changed up all my colors. I want them to have your original file. So, let's go ahead and get started on it. But you can see all of these are the same. All 6 of them. They're all the same. I cut 2. That's why there's 6. 1, 2, 3. I only need 3. And then 1, 2, 3. And I really think the Cricut felt will be better on these guys than the other. The other one's a little floppy for me. I wasn't happy with it. And it's kind of heavy. All right, let's start. And I hope I can make this wire work. You're going to take your wire, and of course you're going to use a heavier gauge and do your little loop, okay, because we don't want it to pull through the hole in the felt, and then bend it over. And it doesn't have to be a perfect loop. And then you're going to bring it in, like so. Just thread that piece in, and I'm going to use hot glue. I'm not going to do all 3 of my buds, so I can just cut one extra. But I'm going to show you guys, they all go together exactly the same. There is no difference. Now I used a pom-pom on mine, these little pom-poms, but you can use the softer felt. If you have the Joann's softer felt, you can use a ball of that, because I used 3 to 4 in mine, but they come in packs. Okay. So once you have that on there and you have that pom-pom, then you're ready to create your bud. My throat's dry. I apologize. I need to drink water. You can Mary Lou, but it's not going to help strengthen it. It's not going to be enough. It might be enough for this bud just by itself, but we'll see. If not, I'll just take it apart and redo it. I'm just putting a little glue on a toothpick, just like we did yesterday, and coming from the base right where the cut is and bringing it all the way up to the top. And then you're just going to fold that over and glue. I didn't get that. It was too cool. I'm using low temp. You may want to use a little higher temp for this so that you have time to get it to set. Just going to run right down that edge all the way up to the point, and then we're going to pull those 2 together and pinch it. Don't worry about the exact points up here yet. We will get there. Okay, and then we're going to come along the edge of the next one, right around this edge here, just a thin line, and we're going to pull this petal up and pinch those in, almost like the center of the dahlia. Okay, I squish some glue out. I'm not cutting my felt, I'm just cutting off that squished out glue. Okay, and then I'm going to take another couple of these little felt balls. Well, I'm going to do this other side first. It's easier. I need a clean toothpick. Maybe that's my problem. And then we're going to go up the side of this one into the tip and pull that one in and glue it, just so you guys can get a closer look. Let's see if that light will come in there better. But I'm just gluing just along the edge, okay? And then I'm just going to open it up. We've got 3 of them glued. We've got the last one there. I'm just going to pop in a couple more of these felt or pom-poms. Now, this one is going to close completely up. You're not going to see it, so it doesn't matter what color it is. But if you want it to show like it's starting to bloom and leave that top open, you'll need 1 more pom-pom in there, and you will need to leave it open just a little bit, okay? But this one is closed. If it's open, you're going to need the white ones, and if it's closed, it doesn't matter what color that is. And you can use just scraps of felt. If you want to use your scraps and just make a little ball out of, let me just cut here in the center. You just want to cut up some of your scrap and roll that up into a ball and stuff that in there. That works too, okay? That's all you have to do. You don't need to go out and run out and buy pom-poms. If you have them on hand, they're easier, but you can make do with scraps. And then we're just going to do this other edge. Pinch it. And that's just to keep your bud from collapsing. And if you feel like it's not full enough, you can add another pom-pom before you close it up. Just going to go in there and stuff it down in there. All right. And then you're just going to close up the 4 points. I might have mine too full. I'll try it. I got glue on my finger and it's on my flower. Makes me mad when I do that. Just pulling that glue off that I got on the outside. I'll clean it up better later. Super easy to do, buds. Trying to pull that glue out of there and keep it pinched. The cricket felt is a little stiffer, remember that. Okay, I will clean that up later, but you get it, that you're just going to close those up all the way around and then at the top. And it's hard to tell because I've got glue all over mine, but you want it to look like that. Okay? I got glue on the top of this one, so it's going to be hard to see. But you want to close it up, and you want it to look just like that. Everybody with me? Y'all are quiet tonight. So you're going to repeat that with your other two and your wire. And you want to do a separate wire, because once you do that other bud, you're going to bring it in down here, like so that you have another wire that you can bend out the other direction. Okay? You're going to tape those two together by wrapping it with the floral wire. Then you're going to bring in the third one. And you're just going to bring it down here and you're going to wrap it in. And the reason I'm saying that you wrap them separately is so that, because if you wrap these together up here, you're not going to be able to fold them out. So you're going to wrap this one, you're going to add this one in, and then you're going to start wrapping here. Okay? And then once you have those two wrapped together, you're going to bring in the third one and you're going to start wrapping here. And that way you have 3 points where the wrap starts and stops, so that they are separate separate stems, but together. Okay, like this. See how this one's out, and then I started wrapping this one. Even though they're even, I didn't wrap it together all the way up to the top. You want to wrap them individually. Wrap it down, stop, put the next one on, wrap it from that, creating a V, and then bring in the next one and wrap it the same way, starting again, varying off. Okay? And then you're going to do the same thing with the 3 flowers. Exactly the same. You're going to stop your wrap, put in a flower, wrap it down, stop your wrap, wrap in a flower, bring it down, wrap in the last flower. Okay? You're just going to keep repeating that with all 6 stems. Okay? This is a super, super, super simple flower, guys. All right, and we're just I'm going to put these, I'm not going to do all of these again because I want the right wire so that I get a nice stem out of it. I don't want to just put these together and waste it. I don't mind cutting one more. But I have to order more white cricket felt. I'm out of white cricket felt, so I don't want to ruin all my felt, my flowers that I've already cut. You're going to take your stem, and on this piece, you're going to give it maybe about an inch, maybe an inch and a quarter, and give it a little bend. And that's going to tell you where to stop with your glue. And you're going to put a little bit of glue all the way down your stem for that inch, inch and a quarter. You're going to bring it in, you're going to stick it down on your felt, and you're going to pinch that closed, hopefully before your glue dries, without closing in this tail. You want this tail so that you can flip it up once that flower is finished. So don't glue that part. I'm just going to glue this in. All right, and then just let it cool. You can make sure that it closes around that if you want to. It's not really going to be seen, so I didn't go that far with mine. I tried it. I didn't like the way that it looked, so it's up to you. This piece can be a little tricky, but we're going to do it. I'm just going to first put a little dab of glue in the center, and then we're going to fold it in half and just hold it for a second. And set. Okay, that's going to make it easier for you if you do the center first. Then you're going to take a little bit of glue, not much, from that little glued area to about a fingernail's part from the end, and you're going to pinch it while you open. And I found that if I pinched it this way against my table or my surface, that it worked best. Okay? That's what you want. You're going to repeat on the other side. Just a very little bit of glue. You don't want a lot squishing out. I'm just basically rubbing the nozzle on there so I don't have a ton of glue. And then I'm pinching. Just pinching it. And I'm going to stop. In case there's any glue right there on the end, I don't want it to, and there is a little bit. I want to stop that crease right about there, okay? And I can pull it off. I don't want that paper on there, but there we go. All right, so it should look just like that. And I'm going to say this is working better than this did for this step. I like the look and the crispness of it better. So it's going to be up to you how you want to do that. And then you're just going to put a little dot of glue in the center of this. And you're going to bring in your flower center. And you're going to glue that down and not on your finger. Don't burn yourself like I just did. It's low temp and it was still hot. All right. And you can bend that wire straight out again if you want to. I just bent it for that 1/2 inch to help me get a handle on getting my flower. And don't worry about that turning out like that. It's going to flatten back out when you get this step on. And this one, I don't know why the holes are in there, because if you put this on here and glue it down like they said to do, you still can't run the stem all the way through there, okay? So it didn't make any sense to me. But I've done enough of the orchids to know that you don't have to do that with the orchids. Put a dab in the center of your 3 petals. Open this up. You want 2 petals to the bottom. 2 petals to the bottom and 1 to the top. And then you're just going to bring this in and press it down. And then you can see why it doesn't matter about that wire. It's hidden anyway. And then this is where you would wrap this up to this point right here. You're going to wrap your stem up to the base of the flower, and then you're going to wrap it onto your stems further down, giving yourself a V so that you have room to manipulate that flower on your stem when you're doing your arrangement, okay? Because this main one is going to be at the end, and it's going to curve this way. You're going to have your next bud, your third bud, then your flowers are going to start coming in after those 3 buds. And the 3 flowers are all the same size, so you're just going to repeat all the way down the stem. Okay, and then you can trim off even or do your sizing after that goes into the vase. Does that make sense? Do you guys need me to do another one? I will do another one if you want. I know I use white more than anything, Gail, and I really wish that they would sell it just in a pack of color, because there are colors that I just don't care for, that I wouldn't use. And I would like solid packs too. But I really do like the cricket felt for this flower better. You're good, Gail. Y'all got it. You guys are really good with instructions, so you do really well. But if you get stuck on how to wrap this, you let me know, and I will be happy to help you, and we can revisit it at another time. I just don't want to use all of my felt until I get my heavier wire. And then I'll put it together and take some good photos for you guys to see all the way down the stem how I put it together. And these are fine by themselves on this wire. It's when you start putting them together and it gets heavy, it's going to get top heavy. And it's not going to give you that curve that you need. I love it. I think it's pretty. This one keeps turning out on me. So this little tip, if you want to do that, I'm just going to get just a teeny tiny touch of glue and bring it in, pull that out, and that's going to keep it from flipping. Okay, just enough to hold it there. And I don't know if you can, if you used the soft and did the fabric stiffener, you could get a little bit of cup in those back petals. These did cup a little bit, but they're floppy, and I don't care for it. So, a little too floppy for me. On the back, show you how to wrap again. Maybe if I show you on this one, you guys can see it a little bit better. So you're going to get your tape and you're going to start a little stretch because you need it to be sticky. And I have it in my hands. Remember, this one is your guide. Okay, and then you're going to stretch as you spin. Ooh, I'm really trying, guys. My wrist is really, I'm really feeling that. I'm going to try to do it left-handed. I'm not left-handed. I'm going to give it a little stretch and spin. See if I can't get it started. And I'm trying to hold it the same way with my left hand. Again, I'm not left-handed, so. If I can get it to spin. Ow. Okay, but you're just going to continue spinning and wrapping all the way down your stem. And I'm just spinning. Again, you're holding it and guiding it with your pinky, and you're stretching as you spin. Okay. I will do another one just to show you guys how to get that, what I'm talking about putting them together, because it's just going to repeat. It doesn't matter what piece you have, you're just going to repeat the steps as you twist them down. So I'll do another one to show you guys how to get your stem started. So let's put this right here. I know that hole was there. There it is. So we're just going to put our glue right on the felt here. We're going to bring that stem in. This one's pretty easy. Put a little more glue there. Put my pom-pom. That's going to help hold it because I don't want that wire to pull through. Okay. A little bit of glue. Bring it down. And bring that in. Pinch it. Just on the edge. And bring that one in. And pinch it. I'm going to go ahead and glue the top of that right there. If I didn't do it again. Go right up to the tip tops. Put in. And I pulled it apart. That was smart, April. I put 3 of those. I think these are 1/2-inch pom-poms. I'm just trying to get just a thin line. I got a lot of glue on that toothpick, but that's okay. Just gonna pinch those up. Get in there. All right, let me hold this for a second. Hopefully we're good. And it tried to come apart again. I don't know why I'm having a problem with my glue. I didn't have any problem yesterday. Today, I can't get them to stick. Hey, Colleen. Hi, Cheryl. I would go 22. 20 would be better, Gail, but 22 should be okay. Okay, so I've got the second one. And now you're going to do your wrap again on this because you want to have your flower finished. And please don't pay attention to the glue I have on the outside of mine. I have to clean it off. That wrist is really, really giving me some trouble tonight. Okay, so you get it all wrapped. And you don't have to go all the way down, just I don't know, let's see, 3, maybe 4 inches. All right, I'm going to pull that off. I can't get a good wrap. Can't get a good hold on it. So you're going to start with your first stem, and you've got it wrapped down to a certain point, and then you have your second stem, and you're going to put them together. You don't want to wrap them together up here. You want to wrap. You want to give it a V, okay? And then you're going to start wrapping again. You're going to wrap the two together at this point. Okay, just get it started and start that wrapping. Okay, and you just want to get them together, and then you can stop. And now you're going to get your third stem in there, and we're just going to pretend that this is the third stem. You're going to wrap that wire, and then you're going to bring it in right here and start wrapping it again, giving it another V off of this one. Okay, and you're going to repeat that with all 6 pieces. You have 3 of these and 3 flowers. So you would put at this point, you would put the third bud down here and start wrapping together, and giving it its branch. Okay, so it would start wrap here, and then once you have that wrapped down about an inch below it, then you're going to bring in your first flower and wrap it, giving it its own branch, and then you're going to wrap down below that. You're going to give your second flower and give it its own branch, and then your last flower giving it its own branch. Yes, it is swollen, Mary Lou. So all you're doing is creating branches by doing V's. So you have a V here, and then your next one's going to make it a W. Okay? The next one is going to change that V to a W. And you're just going to repeat that. And then if you want, you can set that to the side and then do your 3 flowers the same way, and then bring your flowers in and wrap them all together. So you can have one for each one. Yeah, anything below a 22 or below should work for this flower. Okay? Because they're going to get heavy when you start wrapping these. And if I were to put this one, another bud on here, and then this one, it's way too heavy for this 24 gauge. You're going to start wrapping the flower right here. You're going to wrap it right up to here. Okay? I've got a little glue string that you can pull that off. You're going to wrap it right up to where it glues. If you can see the wire, that's where you want to wrap. If a little piece of it's showing, it's not going to hurt anything. Because when you do your arrangement and you bend this, okay, they're not going to see the back of that flower. All right, when you start bending all of this, you're going to get your flower look, and they're not going to see that. So it's not really going to matter if you miss a little bit of area right there. Wrap where you feel comfortable. All right. Yeah, let's see. Let me just look it up. Like I said, it's been a long time. Let's see. Let's see. Floral wire gauges. That one looks... Oh, that one. There, that's a good one. This is what I have right here. This 24 gauge, and it's too small. This 20 gauge is what I used for the dahlias right here, but I'm going to say for the orchid, your 20 or your 18 would be good. I have this 24. 22 might get it. 22 might do okay, but I would say 20 or 18 for the orchid. I know that the 20 will work for your dahlias. The 22 should work for your dahlias. And will definitely work. The 22 will definitely work for the magnolia. The 24, when I use 24, I rarely ever use 26 or 28. Very rarely. Usually when I do crepe paper flowers, I will use a 24 or a 22. Yeah, you can actually see the sizes there. And when you get down past the 16, guys, that stuff is really, really, really hard to bend. Or for me it is. And I find it hard to work with. I don't think I've ever used, well, I won't say ever. I very rarely ever have needed anything below a 16. Because it's going to be really hard to maneuver. Like I said, these are your most common sizes. 16 to 24, most common. You can use the 22 for your dahlia and most definitely for the magnolia. It should work fine for the dahlia. My main go-to is the 20 though. I think that's what I used on. I don't have any. Oh, here we go. Let me just go back to the overhead. This might be 18. This one isn't wrapped. So this might be 18 that I used on that. No, I know it's not. This has to be 20. I just don't know. It's not marked. Feels like 20. But you can see there's a vast difference in size. You want something that's pretty good and stiff for your orchid. It doesn't matter to me, Mary Lou, because I usually yeah. I usually wrap mine with my floral tape anyway. To me, this is easier when you're wrapping to get your tapes to stick to it. But if you don't want to tape, it's already wrapped for you. And this is, by the way, this is a like a silk thread wrapped. They also have a paper wrapped. If you get the paper wrapped, the tape really likes the paper wrapped. So if you have trouble getting your tapes to stick, the paper wrapped is the way to go. Correct, Gail. Your floral tapes just come in. They're basically the same. They come in different colors. You've got your red, you've got your dark red, you got your white, your browns. Here you got pinks. You got all sorts, but it's all basically the same. And I have been using the dark green because that's what I had on hand. But for the stems that I've been doing and the color leaves that I've been doing, this is the color I normally use right here, this middle color. This is what I'm using all week. But this is my go-to color because that's my favorite color for the leaves. I really don't like to use the darker greens. I did for this orchid because that's what I had on hand for cricket felt. But this is my shade of green that is usually my go-to. You would use the white if you're doing like a wedding bouquet or something like that. Oops, I'm sorry. That was me. Ah, look what I did. That was me. I'm sorry. Oops. I hit the wrong button.
Sorry, I'm still not sure about that.
Now Siri's talking to me. I got it, Sue. Thank you. This is my shade of go-to. This is what I've been using all week, right here. The white is what you would use for a wedding bouquet or something where you didn't need a lot of greenery or brown showing. This is for your twigs and branches. Like if you were doing a cherry, say you were using... Please, Siri. You would use the brown, like if you were doing cherry blossom twig, you would use the brown to wrap that all the way up to the flower because that's the color. Okay. But you can get it in a vast array of colors, guys. This is a really dark green. This is basically what I've been using. This is a little lighter than what I normally use. But this is my shade right here. This is my go-to. But yeah, they all do the same thing. Come in many, 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 many colors. Depends on what you're doing as to what color you want to pick. That's the light green. That's the color that matches my leaves that I've been using except for tonight. You want something that's going to match what you're doing. If you're using a dark green felt, use a dark green. If you're using a lighter green felt, you want to use a lighter green on your stems. If you're doing right up next to your flowers and you want to do all these colors, you can use your pinks and then go into your greens. Let's see if they show. See, they used a darker green on the light too. Sometimes we just use what we have. You're welcome. Bet you guys didn't know it came in all those colors, right? These usually, like if you're doing, say, a little corsage for a prom, if you were doing a corsage for like a prom dress and you didn't want that green to be sticking out against her little pink dress, that's when you would use your pinks and stuff. Does that make sense? Where is this one from? That's from AliExpress. I don't do AliExpress. This one is Amazon. And that is an affiliate link. There you go. There's the link to it. You only know about Army Green Gal? Yeah, it just depends on what you're doing and the look that you're going for, what color you want to use. I like to use the dark reds and stuff when I'm doing Christmas. Yeah, check those prices, guys. Go in. You can use that link and go in and check pricing and things like that. See if there's a better deal. Because I didn't even look at the price. That's really not bad for 11 colors. I mean, you're talking about less than a buck. What is it? $1.25, maybe a roll. That's pretty good. And Is it on Prime? Yep. No. Yes, no, maybe. See if they show any of the. They're not showing using any of the colors, I don't think. But like that one, that heart, where they put the ribbon on there, if you're using that for a pick, you might want to wrap the wire. If it's got like a black wire and you're putting it in with a bunch of white flowers, you might want to wrap it with a craft color. Yes, 1/2 inch is normal. I don't think I've worked with anything other than 1/2 inch. Honestly, I've never even looked for anything wider. Yeah, we're gonna, Cheryl, I know that you guys were on with Miss Rita today. And if you guys don't know or haven't watched Miss Rita to the Rescue, please check her out. She's really great. She is a fantastic person. Love Miss Rita. But we're all going through some changes, unexpected changes, and so I mean we're going to start doing more than what we've been doing as far as like cards and stuff like that. Miss Rita mentioned today, and I had already put in my plans as well, to start doing some cards showing you how to use embossing folders and embossing powders and things of that nature. So yeah, things are changing, but they're changing. In my opinion, they're going to be better for you guys, so that we can teach you more and expand your crafting abilities. So hopefully you guys will like it. I'm going to be doing. I'm probably going to be doing some more sublimation. I did it there for a while and kind of stopped. And I might be coming back into that. And I will have alternatives for you guys who don't have sublimation printers. So I might be doing some of that. And you can definitely use any sublimation blank that I use with infusible inks. So, we got lots of irons in the fire, and we're we're bouncing ideas around each other. All of us in the Cricut Product Expert program, we're bouncing off ideas of project tutorials and things where we have our strengths and weaknesses and stuff. So, oh, thanks, Cheryl. I love Miss Rita. I love that banner she did this morning. Really, really liked it. I would still be trying to stick my vinyl letters on. She gets I mean, she just sweeps right in there, slaps it right on, gets it centered up, and she's done. It takes me forever to center. Your Impress has never been out of the box, Gail? Oh, yeah, you need some embossing folders. You can get those over on Amazon too. Let's see. Here we go. This is a really good deal. Let's get over there. You get 8 embossing folders for $16. Here's 9 for $14. You need to pay attention when you're buying embossing folders, especially individuals. If you don't do a lot of, if you do a lot of 5x7 cards, it can be tough to find 5x7 folders. But you can always resize your cards to fit the A2 folders. So right there, there's 8 for $10. Let me give you guys this link for anybody that might want this. Again, this is an affiliate link. Yeah. And I love embossing. And then you also have embossing powders, and that's where you do heat embossing. If you've ever gotten a graduation invitation or a wedding invitation and it feels like the lettering is raised up and kind of plastic looking, or a business card like that, that is heat embossing with embossing powder. That's these. And you don't really need a ton of colors unless you just want them. I generally use black, gold, silver, copper, but it comes in all kinds of colors. You can do all sorts of colors. I do have some of these are really pretty. Some of the glittery ones or the speckled ones, things like that for special projects. I generally only get those when I'm going to do a special project and buy the one that I want. But yeah, you can get them in all sorts of colors. When you're using the colors, you need a clear ink pad for those. Sometimes the black is, especially if you're doing white or clear embossing, you want the clear stamp pad for embossing. You want pigment ink, not dye ink for embossing. Pigment stamp pads. I know, Kathy, right? You did it when you taught Stampin' Up, Gail? Yeah, I love heat embossing. I love it. Hey, Bobby. So yeah, I mean, there are just so many things you can do. And I think somebody asked me about a chipboard project that I had done, the little case. And guys, I'm trying to work it into the schedule because that will have to be a recorded tutorial. Um, I don't even remember what I called it. That's not it. Mm, let's see. Um, that one's not it. That's a whole weekend project. What did I call that? Was it a card? I don't even know what I called it. It's terrible. Anyway, somebody asked me about it, and I will be working on that chipboard. You do need to have the supplies for it, so I will get that posted up, and I have to do a recorded tutorial. There it is. Card trunk. Somebody asked me to redo this video because the one I did was private. So I have that. I'm trying to work that one in. We could do that live, but it would take 2 to 3 hours. So I have to record that video, or we're going to have to do it in 2 or 3 sessions. Yeah, Marianne has the Gemini. I have the Spellbinders Platinum. And the reason I have the Spellbinders Platinum is because I wanted their foiling system, because it's different than Cricut foiling. My niece has my Cuttlebug. If I can get it to pull up. Let's see. There we go. This is the one I have. And the only reason I have that is because I wanted and I do have a Spellbinders affiliate somewhere. I will get that for you guys. But here is their glimmer system. And that's where you can do the solid. You have to have the foil plates for those and make the solid gold words and stuff that are die cut. Yeah, they have stripe embossing. I have a stripe. You don't have a stripe, Gail? I think I think my stripe is Stampin' Up. I could be wrong. Oops, I just closed my YouTube window. There it is. I I think mine is a Stampin' Up, but I might be wrong. You have a mini one too, Mama? Well, good. When I heard Miss Rita say that she was going to be doing more of that, I was like, oh, good, because all of our crossovers that are the ones that watch both of us, um, they will already have, some of them already have the supplies, or if they're doing it, they'll be able to do it along with both of us. Yeah, they have one on over on Amazon. It wasn't bad, $7. I hate that Doris went out of business. Right, Kathy? I will say that the cuddle bug is, if you're doing a crank style, it's easier to crank than the others. Or it was for me anyway. And if you ever need plates, you can take your plate up to Lowe's or Home Depot and have one cut. So, or use one from Sizzix or somebody else. You'll just have to change your sandwich a little bit. All right. Does anybody have any other questions? I'm sorry that I couldn't put the flower together all the way today. Again, my wrist is hurting me really bad, and then with this extra fine wire, I just couldn't get a grasp on it. Yeah, the glass jars, yeah, very pretty. And see, we're going to start doing more of those kind of things with you guys. We're going to try to do some collaboration as well. Oh, that's cool, Gail. That would be fun. I think it would be fun if we could all do a collaboration Zoom type and get all you guys in so that you could talk and mic up and that kind of thing. I think it would be a lot of fun. Hey, Jacqueline, you snuck in on me. I didn't see you there. Yeah, I have an appointment on the 13th for my hand, so hopefully they can figure something out on that. My hand, my wrist, kind of painful. These fingers especially, grasping with my ring finger and my middle finger. My pinky's not too bad, my forefinger, but the middle finger and the ring finger, it's something else. It wants to, I can't squeeze a washcloth out. It's not broken, but I haven't gone to the my hand doctor, the orthopedic doctor. I haven't gone there yet. Couldn't get an appointment till the 13th. Another 10 days, 11 days. Right, Cheryl? I appreciate that. But I love flowers. Flowers are I love to do flowers. Let me rephrase that. I like to do realistic flowers. I like the big giant ones. I just don't like to do them, but I do. When you guys want them, I do them. I prefer to do the smaller, lifelike flowers. Yeah, it's carpal tunnel, Cheryl, I'm pretty sure. I almost broke that wrist when I was a kid, and they told me that I was going to have a problem with it. I would have been better off if I had broke it because they could have fixed it easier. That may be an option for me too, Mary Lou. I've been that route with my neck, so I ended up with surgery on my neck, but daylilies, I have, Janet, but it's been a while. Usually crepe paper on those. I haven't tried to do one in felt. I do know I have not done a lily in felt. I have done them on crepe paper. Um, Let me see. I've done the parrot lily, but I did that one at, I don't even have a photo of it in here. Um, let's see. This is Leah Griffith. These are her patterns on those. That's my calla lily. I don't know where I got that. I don't remember what NSF is. That's where I got that one from. It's probably Leah Griffith too. It might be the one I did. I don't know. It's been so long ago. Those are really, really, really old files. You want to do a rose in the crepe paper one? Okay, as soon as my hand will have to be better for that one, Kathy, um, because it's not hard to do, but you have to be able to work with it. This one, is this the one you're? Oops, doesn't want to show up on. That's this is an old file too because this was before they changed the photo format. You can see it there though. If that's the one you're thinking of. Banned from flowers. I think that's my favorite one. That one and my and I did order some new crepe from Leah. If you guys are interested in that, let me show you. Not crepe. Da, 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 da. Let's see. This is what I get right here. The extra fine. And you can do the double-sided. It's okay. It's just lighter on one side than the other. It's still extra fine, but I got this one right here. This is the one I got. I had all of these, but they got destroyed in the flood. Um, so it is what it is, right? Yeah, Secret Garden. That's what I thought it was. Yep, there it is where I purchased it this week to replace it. Crepe paper is going to give you your most realistic looking flowers, or that for me it does anyway. You can manipulate cardstock to looking real and felt. Right, Gail? I love I love Leah Griffith paper. It's from Germany. The extra fine is manufactured in Germany, so it's really really nice material. I know it looks expensive. Well, it is expensive, but that's why. It's going to give you a really good looking flower. I do have, I think I have a, maybe. I don't have my Leah Griffith file on the shortcut keys, or my Leah Griffith link on my shortcut keys, I should say. Yeah, it's very, very, very pretty. And it's very, very, very easy to work with. I know that you can get the heavy cray papers for a lot less, but they're not going to look as good, and they are more difficult to work with for me. It's all in what you're used to, though. All right, does anybody have any more questions? Anything that I can help with? Any project issues? If not, I will see you in the morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And we are going to put together Louisa's little gnome. I'm calling it her gnome dome. It's her gnome dome. So we're going to be putting that together in the morning. So if you want, I think Louise posted her link, or you can search in Design Space and get it. Let's go and search. Louise Beauregard. Let's see. Right there. There it is. But somebody else did it. Well, I want Louise's. Where's her name? I'll find her here in a minute. We'll pull her up. Why is it not pulling her up? That's what I want to know. Did you post the link, Louise, for that project? There. Let's see if I can do. There we go. Ta-da! I got it. If you guys want to cut early, there's the link. Yeah, I think I gotta have a bone density test done too. You see you too? Are you in there too, Sue? I went too fast. I may have went right by it. It's easy to spot your own projects, but when you're looking for somebody else's, because you know what your photo looks like, you know? So it's easy to scroll by and miss it. There's Sue right there. Sue Caballero. Oh, there's my gnome shower caddy. And there's Louise diaper bag that Sue did. All right, guys, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Again, the flower tutorials do take a little bit longer, plus we've been chatting. So I love spending the time with you guys. If you have any questions, anything that you forgot to ask, please ask me in the group. If you are a Patreon supporter, that kind of thing, then you can always message me on Messenger or in the Patreon site on messages there. Yeah, we do, Mary Lou. We have access to so many great, great, great designers. All right, guys, thank you. I appreciate you joining me, and I will see you in the morning. Happy crafting! And this is the outro for real this time, not an oops.